Inequalities. The region R in the figure below is defined by the inequalities line 1, line 2, and line 3. So you can see from the diagram there is R is the required region, and then line 1 is is a continuous line, line 2 is a broken line, and then line 3 is a continuous line. So we're supposed to find the three inequalities from the three lines that are given there. So let's see how you're supposed to get the three inequalities that satisfy the unshaded region R. So we shall take each line at a time, and we get the inequality from each line. So we go to line 1. Line 1 is there. So line 1 is the y-axis. So that is the first line 1, the y-axis. And we are going to begin by getting the inequality that satisfy the region R using that line. So line 1 is the y-axis. And the equation of the y-axis is where x is equals to 0. X is equals to 0, that is the y-axis. So as you can see, the required region is to the right of line x is equals to 0, which is the y-axis. So what are you going to do? Let's pick a point in the required region R. Just pick any point as long as the point is in the required region. Let's say a point 21. Point 21 is inside there in region R, and that is where if we plot it, it will be somewhere there. So we're going to use that point in the required region and write the inequality. So we have x is equals to 0. That is the equation of the y-axis. So using that point 2, 1, where 2 is the x and y is 1, and so we substitute here, and you'll notice that 2 will be greater than 0. So the inequality sign that should be between 2 and 0 is greater than or equal to. So that is the inequality for the first line, that is line 1. So we go to the other line, which is line 2, and line 2 is there. That is line 2, as you can see. Now that is a broken line. Now you need to be careful with that. There is a broken line, as you can see. So what you're going to do, we shall start by getting the equation of that line, equation of line 2. And to get the equation of that line, of course, we need 2 points that lie on that line. Any 2 points that lie on that line will help us get the equation of that line. So we shall use point 0, negative 2, and 2, 0, as you can see with the arrows. So the first point 0, negative 2, and 2, 0. The 2 points lie on that line. So let's write those points. So 0, negative 2, and 2, 0. So those are the lines, and those are the points. Now, using these 2 points, we get the equation of a line. So we start by getting the gradient of that line, change in y, which is 0 minus negative 2, divided by the change in x, which is 2 minus 0. That gives 2 divided by 2, and the gradient of that line is 1. So if we write this equation in the form y is equals to mx plus c, and we substitute a gradient which is m with 1, we shall get y is equals to x plus c. Now to get value of c, we shall use any point on that line. We pick 2, 0, any point on that line. Then we substitute in that equation to get c. So x is 2 and y is 0. So we substitute those values in this equation. Y is 0, then x is 2 to obtain c, and you get c will be given by negative 2. Now, after getting c is equals to negative 2, now we can write the equation of that line, y is equals to x minus 2. So we can reorganize this equation and write it in another way, which is the same. How when you take x to the left hand side, we get y minus x is equals to negative 2. Now, we have not yet written the inequality. Now, we shall still use that line. Let us use that equation, y minus x is equals to negative 2. Now, that equal sign is what we need to replace with the inequality sign. And for us to know the inequality sign that should be there where we have the equal sign, we need to pick a point on the required region. Let's just pick a point on that region R. That is 0.21. 0.21 is a point that lies in the required, is there somewhere there if you can plot it. So if we pick a point that is a required region, so in order to have the right inequality sign that should be between there, now having 2 is x, then y is 1, we try to substitute the values 2, that is x, and y is equals to 1 in that equation. And when you do that, y is 1 minus x is 2. Then between there, we need to put the inequality sign, negative 2. So between the two sides, we need to know the right kind of inequality. So there, that is what we need to know, the kind of inequality that should put there in order to satisfy that equation. And that is negative 1 minus 2 will be negative 1. Negative 1 is greater than negative 2. So that sign satisfies that equation. So the sign that we should put between, the inequality sign that we should put between those points is greater than. Now, the reason why we are writing greater than and not greater than or equal to is because that line is broken, meaning that all the points that lie on that line do not satisfy the equation. That is why we cannot write a greater than or equal to. So as I've said, this will give negative 1 is greater than negative 2. That one satisfies. Therefore, the inequality should be like this: y minus x is greater than negative 2. As I've said, to emphasize this is that that line is broken. That is why we have written greater than and not greater than or equal to, meaning that points that lie on that line do not satisfy the inequality. So when you look at the case, the first one, x is greater than or equal to 0, this one has an equal sign and the line is continuous. The reason why it is continuous is that all the points that you can pick, as long as they lie on that y-axis, they satisfy the inequality because of that equal sign, greater than or equal. So let's go to line 3. Now for line 3, you can see where line 3 is. Line 3 is, let me show you. So line 3 is there. That is where line 3 is. So we start by getting the equation of that line, just the same way we've done with the previous part. And then we obtain 2 points that lie on that line to get the equation. So let's just pick any 2 points that lie on that line. So pick 2 points on the line, and the points that you're going to pick are the ones that are obvious: 3, 0, 0, 3. That is 0, 3, and the other point is 6, 0. So those are the points. You can confirm them: 0, 3 and 6, 0. The 2 points are on line 3. So those are the points indicated by the arrows. So Now, having those 2 points, we proceed and get the equation of that line. Start by getting the gradient. The gradient of that line is given by 0 minus 3, that is change in y, divided by the change in x, which is negative 3 over 6, which will give negative a half. So writing the general format of equation of a line, that is y is equals to mx plus c. Having obtained the gradient as a negative a half, just substitute m with the gradient, and now we need to get c. To get c, we just pick any point, 0, 3 or 0, 6, both of them, or 6, 0, both of them will give the same answer. X is 0 while 3 is y, so substitute to get c. Substitute those values in that equation and you get c as 3. So once you get c as 3, now the equation of that line therefore is y is equals to negative half x plus 3. We can still reorganize that equation in another form by multiplying each term by 2 to get rid of that denominator. And then we bring x to the left hand side, so multiply all terms by 2, then bring the x to the left hand side, you get that. So we can still write this equation like this. So we need to get the inequality sign that should be there where I have circled, that is going to replace that equal sign. And to do that, we just need to pick a point on the region R, and we pick the same point that we had picked earlier on, and that point is 2, 1. That is 0.21. 0.21, once again, that is where if you plot it, that is where you get it, 0.21. So a point on region R21, we need to substitute these values. So x 2 multiplied by y is 1. So 2 times 1 plus x is 2. So we need now to decide on the inequality sign that should come between that. That should be there to replace equal sign. And when you work out this will give 2 plus 2, which is 4. And then between there, we need to insert the right inequality sign. And the right inequality sign that should be there automatically should be 4 is less than or equal to 6. Now, that is the sign that we need to put, less than. 4 is less than. That one satisfies. 4 is less than or equal to 6. Therefore, the inequality for line 3 should be 2y plus x is less than or equal to 6. Something to note about that line is that the line is continuous, and that is why it has less than or equal. That is why it has equal, meaning that all the points that lie along that line, on that line, satisfy the inequality. So that the line is continuous. That is why it is less than or equal to, and not just less than. All the points on that line satisfy the inequality.